All right, coming up on this episode of Brew, Do You Even Talk Pinball? We've got what everybody's been waiting for. After more than 50 years of pinball, we finally get a barbecue-themed game. Cannot wait to talk about that one. We also got Keith from Pin Brew. We've got the Princess Bride. We're going to review our first Jersey Jack game ever on the podcast. All that and more coming right up.
Double super jackpot!
I need a ramp. I need a loop. I want targets I can hit. I need the scoop. I need a double super jackpot in my life. That's right.
And now, the Hall & Oates of pinball podcasting, Nick Lane and Kevin Manny of Buffalo Pinball. Whoa, boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka, Nick, you're muted. We need you to come back.
I'm good.
There
good.
you are.
Yeah.
We had
Don't
Keith
worry
there
about
too.
I know where that mute button is.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the March 2024 episode of Brew, Do You Even Talk Pinball? I'm Kevin. That's Nick. What's going on,
I'm
Nick?
Keith.
Howdy.
There's Keith.
And then Keith. This has become an annual tradition, and I look forward to it because when Keith comes on and we're talking about Pin Brew, that means that the weather's going to get better, and I can finally take some time off and go and play some pinball. So let's kick this off. Let's start off with Pin Brew, and Keith is here to tell us all about it. So Keith, you've got to become an expert at this point in talking about Pin Brew. What's the overview for somebody who might just be tuning in and might not know?
Well, I'm just impressed that I got ahead of barbecue. I figured that was the big news of the year here. But now Pin Brew's coming up, number 4. We're pretty excited. It's growing every year. This year, we've already got commitments to have over 100 games before we even start and ask other people to bring stuff. We have a new rep coming in from Stern. They're bringing in, 30, 40 games. 10 of them are going to be Jaws. And all limited editions of all the other pieces. So we're excited about that. Spooky Pinball's being represented this year. We will have a barbecue at the show, and we will have a couple barbecue pinballs at the show. American has reached out to us and made sure that we're going to have some games there. So we're pretty lucky being right after Texas. Pin Brew's just 3 days of pinball tournaments, pinball vendors, beer from 8 different craft breweries, and all kinds of food.
That's awesome. I mean, last year was a blast. It was the first time I got to go. Kevin won as well. Was really happy with the amount of games that were available to play. I mean, a personal highlight for me was playing Pulp Fiction. There's a nice representation from Stern, which it sounds like this is going to be even bigger, which is amazing. And then the tournament was well run as well. So I'm looking forward to coming back. I guess one question that springs to mind is that, well, first of all, I'm excited that we're going to have the barbecue game there. I'm sure everybody is. And you said there's 2 of them. Do you think that's enough, Keith? I mean, how long are these lines going to be to play that game, do you think?
Well, we're probably going to have to set up our own lines for these games, because I'm sure people are going to be just standing behind each other waiting hours to make a little, I think it was sweet sauce on the barbecue or something, bumpers. I'm not sure how that's going to do, but we will have a lot of other games for those of you who can't wait to play barbecue.
Yeah, my recommendation would be get there Thursday. So it goes Thursday through Saturday. A lot of people come Friday, but Thursday's a good sweet spot if you want to play all the new games and not have to fight the lines. Highly recommend doing that.
Agreed.
Keith, what am I missing? What else? I mean, this is a slam dunk of a venue to go to. It's I think it's kind of a good location. It's not far, it's not too far from Buffalo. We're talking like 3 hours. I think Pittsburgh's in striking distance. Where do you see most people coming from?
I mean, we're kind of in between everything there. What you said, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Cincinnati. We get people coming in from Chicago. Chicago's about a 5-hour trek, but Pittsburgh's an hour away. Cleveland's an hour away. So we kind of get that vicinity coming in. But we're starting to see a lot of people are telling me they're coming in from different states. Somebody posted the other day they're coming in from Washington. So the show's growing. It's got a good reputation. We're really happy about it. One of the exciting things this year is when we do the beer portion, the proceeds of the beer go to a charity. Usually it's a children's charity. And this year it kind of hits home a little bit. We had a good friend of ours in the Columbus market who just lost his daughter. She was 16 to cancer. And he is a big pinball player. And we are using her charity, Allie's Arms, this year for the proceeds of the beer. And we're also having a silent auction. We've already gotten 2 pinball machines donated for the silent auction. So that ought to be a pretty good twist this year to it. So
yeah, that's an amazing gesture, and yet another reason to head over to this event and support it. I understand you have VIP tickets. Can you talk a little bit about what you get for that?
So VIP tickets are limited, and we are getting close to the limit. The VIPs close down on the 15th. So if anybody wants one of those tickets, they're $110. And with the VIP ticket, you get T-shirt, posters, swag. You get a pint glass similar to what you have there. A little different design this year, which I think you'll like. And that pint glass allows you a 16-ounce pour at the beer tent instead of a 12-ounce pour. So the glass itself is just a great add-on. And on top of all of that, everybody that has come to the show in the past, last year we were exclusive with Pastimes Arcade, which is Rob Burke's huge venue right here in Girard. And this year, any of the VIPs can go to Pastimes all 3 days, no charge.
Well, I forgot about that, and that's another huge reason to consider getting the VIP tickets. Seeing Pastimes, I mean, that's in striking distance. How far away is it from the venue? Maybe like 20 minutes?
No, it's 2 miles.
It's 2 miles. Okay, there you go.
Literally 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, no, this has become such a great show to go to, and it's amazing that it's getting better every year. Before we conclude, anything else that I didn't ask or people should know?
No, I think everybody that's been to the show knows what to expect. We're excited. I understand, and you guys know that I'm not a tournament guy, but apparently the tournament's gotten really big, and we're going to get a lot of points this year. I guess Tommy Beezy's flying in from the West Coast to run the show, run the tournaments, and you tournament guys will be excited about that. I'm happy for you. I have no idea why.
No, it was a good tournament last year, for sure, and that's certainly important to me in one of these shows. So anybody who is a tournament player listening to this, I'm happy to endorse the tournament at this event. So I'm looking forward to this year. All right, awesome, Keith. Thanks so much for coming on.
Last piece I wanted to let you know, Mark Ritchie's coming back. Turns out this is his favorite show. He likes the beer. So we've invited him to come back this year. Obviously, Pulp Fiction's going to be here in numbers, and look forward to seeing you guys at the show.
Look forward to seeing you as well.
Sounds good. I'll just give my plug for Pin Brew, because last year was my first time going. Last year was crazy because we had all of those new games come out at once, and they were all at Pin Brew. And you saw the pictures from the bigger shows like Texas Pinball Festival, where people were waiting hours to play the new games. We got to go and play at Pin Brew. And I don't want to give away our secret, because the secret's going to be out and then this show's going to get loaded. But if you want to go play all the new games and not wait in line for hours, Pin Brew is an amazing opportunity to do that. And you're going to have a Princess Bride there too, right?
We are.
Yeah. So Princess Bride and Barbecue and Jaws and like all the new stuff. You're going to be able to check it out there and not wait a whole bunch of time. So that's great.
The new Spookies will be there too. Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Looney Tunes.
Nice.
So we got a good representation again this year. We're pretty happy.
Yeah.
How about Labyrinth, before I forget?
Oh, yeah.
Labyrinth will be there also, yes.
Amazing. Okay. Everything you'd want to play. There we go.
Boom. All right. So, yeah, check it out. Where should they go if they want to learn more and get tickets?
To get tickets or learn more about the show, it is pinbrewfest.com.
All right. Go check it out, and everybody have a good time. And remind everybody what the dates and the location are again.
It is April 4th, 5th, and 6th, Thursday, 4 to 11, Friday and Saturday, 10 to midnight. VIPs get in an hour early, all days.
Sounds good. And Girard, Ohio is the location?
Girard, Ohio.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks, Keith. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and as you get ready for Pin Brew, have a great show.
Thanks. Take
All
care.
right, take care. Nick, shall we thank some partners?
Let's thank some partners. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
You do the honors for us.
All right. We want to start off with both of our premier partners. That is Pin Stadium Lights. Go to pinstadium.com. You can buy some lighting kits for your pinball machine controlled by iOS or Android. Countless colors that you can change it to. They got the new lower profile Pin Stadium Neo Atoms. Highly recommend. Always innovating on that title. That's pinstadium.com. Use coupon code Buffalo, by the way. Save 10%. That's a good chunk of change you're gonna save by using that trick. And then Flipping Out Pinball, flippingoutpinball.com. If you're one of the many, many, many people that are looking to buy Barry O's Barbecue Challenge, head over to flippingoutpinball.com. If for some crazy reason you don't want that game, you want one of the other games, well, you can also buy them from Zach as well. He'll take care of you. Best service in the industry. That's flippingoutpinball.com. And then shout out to our other partners, as always, Comet Pinball for LEDs, Titan Pinball for silicone rings, but also many, many more things like balls and also their comfortable mat. We've got a new sponsor. This is one I reached out to specifically because I am a big fan of this product, and that is playfieldprotectors.com. It's the way you type this in is playfield dash, right? That's a dash, Kevin?
Yep.
Protectors.com. And, I'm at this age, I have to ask if that's a dash. Playfield-protectors.com, or you can just Google it for pinball and it will come up. Frank will take care of you. I'm going to spend a moment on this one, just because it's a new sponsor. Maybe some people aren't aware. If you've got a classic game, they don't have clear coat on it, okay? And art on older games is something special, and certainly one way to protect it that I recommend is to head on over to Playfield Protectors. It is a clear. I don't know what it's made out of. This is how bad I am, but I don't know what it's made out of. I've had mine on. I had some of these on my game for years now. It's easy enough to put on. You don't have to take apart usually the entire play field. It's cut right. And another benefit of not just protecting the art is the fact that on these older games, over time, the inserts get cupped. Okay, so like usually it's concave. And what that means is that the ball doesn't run true to how the game was when it was made, right? It's going over kind of these like little valleys. Well, with a playfield protector, that thing's going to be perfectly flat and smooth, so the game is going to play way more like it was when it was first made. Check it out. Again, playfield protectors, playfield-protectors.com. All right, and then last but not least, Kevin, we've got Multimorphic, which Kevin's going to talk more about. He was just doing a stream last week. And then pinside.com. Pinside.com to talk about pinballs, buy and sell, great marketplace. All right, let's get the show going.
All right, let's hype our giveaway first.
That's right.
We've got giveaway $50 gift card to everybody's favorite place to get silicone rings, Titan Pinball. Nick talked about them a little bit. If you go to titanpinball.com, you can use this gift card if you win and get yourself a whole bunch of cool stuff like their sweet pin mats. They got the silicone rings, LED lights, magnetic nut drivers if you're working on your game, pinballs. That's where Nick and I both buy the balls for our pinball machines. It's important to make the differentiation there. So yeah, if you're in chat, in the Twitch chat, type #win, and that'll get you in. We'll pick a winner at the end of the show. My bot doesn't work in the YouTube chat, so you got to be in Twitch chat for that. #win. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the giveaway from Titan Pinball.
And by the way, you use coupon code Buffalo there when you put your order in. You'll save 10%. There's some things that it doesn't apply to.
Yeah, it's for the silicone rings. So if you're getting the rings,
the rings,
the competition rings, get those. Save yourself some money.
I've got to order new rings today too. So perfect.
Oh, there you go. All right, let's have our friend introduce us into the news.
Here's the tip. It's the latest pinball news. So hot, it's on fire.
All right, topping off the news, we had 2 new pinball machines revealed. This was I don't know. It's the better of the 2. I haven't played the other one yet, but I played this one. It's called the Princess Bride. It's from Multimorphic. I joined the crew down in Austin, Texas to play their game on the reveal stream. This came out February 20th, 2024. This is pricing on the Princess Bride. So pricing for Multimorphic games are a little more complicated than your traditional pinball machines. But if you want your game kit only, The standard is $3,750. The LE is $5,000. If you want a full machine with the Princess Bride included, it's $11,500 for the standard, $12,750 for the LE, or $13,750 for the collector's edition. And the collector's edition is a brand new level for this. They've never done a collector's edition before, and it's pretty cool. It's this. If you're like a diehard Princess Bride fan and this is your favorite movie of all time, and you absolutely want to have this in your lineup as like, you know, a shining beacon in your lineup, it comes with a topper and the sword art, the armor that's powder coated, decals or the art all over it. A new feature they've started adding in is the art on the front of the machines, which looks really nice. But this is a game designed by Multimorphic has a team approach when it comes to game design. So on game design listed are Colin McAlpine, Jerry Stellenberg, Josh Kugler, Rory Cernuda, Steven Silver, Steve Scheuer, and TJ Weaver. Steven Silver was the creative director, so he's the kind of the one who oversaw the project. He was the lead on the project. And then mechanics were by TJ Weaver and Trey Jones. Software by Greg Goldie, Josh Kugler, Michael Ocean, and Steve Scheuer. Artwork by Matt Andrews. You might remember him from Weird Al's Museum of Natural Hilarity or Total Nuclear Annihilation. Sound by Matt Kern and music by Paul Ferrer and Mark Knopfler. You might know him from the band Dire Straits. He's one of the original artists on the Princess Bride theme song. So, yeah, if you haven't seen it yet, we did a reveal stream on this, but the game, I can give some first impressions because I actually had hands on with it. The game is probably the most immersive of the P3 games. It's the first time they've taken like full movie assets and been able to integrate it into a pinball machine. You know, we've seen other themes like Weird Al, and there was video assets with that. They used some of their they used the mission statement song. They had the video from that, but it was an animated video. So this is the first time we're seeing full motion video of actors on their playfield screen, which is really cool. I was always kind of wondering how they would integrate it. And I can show while I'm talking, I can show some of the footage here.
And that's how you get
of the stream. You can see how the artwork is integrated in a little like inset kind of like pop-up display when it shows the video clips above this really cool map that Matt Andrews drew, which is kind of like the base artwork for the playfield. And then you've also got the book at the bottom that kind of flips through and shows you your mode progress and things like that, in addition to the shot counters or shot indicators that you have up at the top of the screen, which is kind of a standard when it comes to multimorphic games. So really great integration of the theme. They got all the assets from the movie. So if you love the movie and you wanted to see everything in there, everything's in there. What else? The call outs are all movie call outs. The layout is really neat. It's got the cool mech where you climb the cliffs of insanity on the upper right. When I saw the first pictures of this game, I was like looking at that part and I'm like, man, I wonder if the ball actually goes up there. And it does. Yeah. If you hit it past that drop target, magnet grabs and holds the ball. And then as you hit either of the two ramp shots, it slowly climbs up the cliffs. And once you get to the top of the cliffs, it holds the ball and you can pick a mode. And then you can move on and move into one of your, I think it was 3 modes on that shot. A really super fun game. I can't wait to get mine. Is there anything else I specifically want to talk about? Yeah, the theme integration is amazing. So one of the things that is particularly interesting and uses the P3 features is the one-handed mode. So if you're familiar with the movie and you're when they get to the sword fight, they both start out using their left hands because they don't want the sword fight to be over too quickly, blah, blah, blah. But then halfway through, they switch over and they use their right hand. They're like, they reveal that I'm right-handed, so am I. And then they switch over. So the mode, you start playing with 2 buttons on the left. And then once you make it halfway through the mode, you switch over, you play it halfway through the right. Really cool theme integration. The other one that I liked was the one where you're building you were using the side targets to move to find my sword. To move the find my sword shot left and right on the scoops. I thought that was a really clever use of the lower section of the playfield. Because one of the common remarks about the P3 is like, oh, there's nothing to shoot on the lower 2/3 of the playfield. Well, that mode specifically uses the lower 2/3 in a very creative way, where it forces you to shoot the side targets to move the shot where you need it to be, and then cash it out. So really clever, creative uses of all the P3's features. Again, great license here. It hits that nostalgic 80s vibe. And yeah, it's great to see that they got full assets and were able to integrate this in such a cool way. I can't wait to get mine. Nick, were you able to catch any of the stream or any of that?
Yeah, I did. You did a great job. I think they did a really good job of just as you said, integrating the theme. Right, it looks interesting to me. It's nice to see that P3 keeps on getting better and better. And again, it's like themes, right? Like you get a theme, make a theme, do a licensed theme that works. By the way, like this is coincidental, Kevin. I was scrolling through Facebook while you were talking because I'm just have ADD, and there was an ad. I'm not kidding. I'm in like a 4K movie deals and pre-orders thing, and The Princess Bride is on Amazon right now. The Criterion Collection for only $26. It's 47% off. So
boom.
There you go.
Yeah, I just picked that up before I went to play the game. I was like, I need to watch the movie again. I was like, well, this is a perfect excuse to spend a bunch of money on a 4K version of it. So I upgraded to 4K. Logan and I watched it. We had a blast. And if you've never seen the movie, highly recommended. It kind of starts off. I remember being skeptical of it as a. I saw it when I was a kid, and I was like, Princess Bride. Is this like a girl movie or what's going on here? But it starts off. It's like. It's a grandfather telling his son this story, and when he's sick in bed, the kid's like, probably 10 years old, and he's like, oh, is this this like a kissing book and blah blah blah, and it ends up being this just like incredibly quotable and like a super hilarious movie. At work, I do public relations for work, and we started calling a lot of times we'll like review content for other areas of the school that I work for. And when people start their letters with, hello, my name is, hi, like, hi, I'm Kevin Manny, and I want to blah, blah, blah. We call those the Inigo Montoya letters now. After playing this, I'm like, it's like Inigo Montoya. And he says, hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. So it's just, who knew when this movie came out that it would end up being so quotable and so meme-worthy all this, 30 years later or whatever after it came out. So really cool. Can't wait to try it. And yeah, like Nick said, it was a personal highlight for us in the Twitch channel. We were on the front page of Twitch, and we hit a stream high 370,000, more than 370,000 unique viewers over the course of the 2 hours we were streaming this. Which with that part topped the Willy Wonka stream. We didn't hit that many unique viewers for Wonka. And we were around 14,000 concurrent viewers, which is a little less than Wonka. So it was right up there with some of the biggest streams we've ever done. Super excited. Anytime we get a chance to do that, and Nick and I were talking about this, like anytime we can advance pinball, bring pinball to more people, get it in front of more folks on the front page of Twitch, being a partner, you have opportunities to do that every once in a while. And super happy to get pinball in front of that many people, and specifically a new game with a cool license like The Princess Bride. And if you missed it live, it's on YouTube. That's where I was showing some of the footage from before. You can check that out. And, they start shipping this summer. They're available at multimorphic.com if you want to grab one for yourself. Okay. Nick, do you want to talk about barbecue pinball?
Oh, it's that time already?
I mean, it's big news. It's the second machine that we saw revealed this month. So,
oh God,
do you want to kick it off?
I had to apologize to Keith because I forgot that we were like, I had to send Keith the link. We've got him coming on the show at 11 this morning, and I messaged Kevin. I was like, dude, ever since this game dropped on Friday, like that's all I've been thinking about. So, and I don't know what to even. I do know what to think, but I don't even know how to organize my thoughts on it, and I don't even know where to begin. So,
all right. Well, let me kick it off with like the pricing and everything. So,
thank you, Kevin. All right,
we'll get some structure.
What is the game? What is the game called?
So, American Pinball has revealed Barry O's Barbecue Challenge, Hot Sauce and Hot Rods. The theme everybody's been clamoring for. It's a let's see, the pricing is $7,000 for standard, or $8,500 for the LE, which is limited to 100, which may be ambitious. We'll get into more of that later. So let's show over here. I don't know where to start. So okay, let's jump over here.
We've never had this problem on this podcast of where to begin with this. Well, why don't you show the game?
Okay.
Why don't we just talk about the objective things, right? The facts about the game as presented thus far. Show the game. Who is Barry O? What is the game? What does it look like? And then we can work through this together.
Okay, so who's Barry O, Nick? For folks at home who may not know, who's Barry O?
So Barry O is a pinball designer. I mean, he's not like a Steve Ritchie level pinball designer. He's not a Keith Elwin, but he is a pinball designer who's made definitely some good games. The ones that come to mind are Bram Stoker's Dracula. I've got a Jungle Lord from him. I believe he made that. Those are the ones off the top. Honestly, those are the ones off the top of my head when I think of Barry Ausler, and that's kind of it. So.
One of his most notable ones was Space Shuttle, right? That was the one like in the 80s where folks were like, "Oh, I brought pinball back when in the middle of the video game revolution and all that." So he's had some notable Pinbot. He contributed to Pinbot too, right? Pinbot.
Yeah. All Anonymous says Bride of Pinbot. So we got to dive back like 30, 40 years to get to Barry Ausler, but okay.
Right.
No, he made some classic, well-known games, and if you're into pinball the way, and you're listening to a pinball podcast, I'm sure you've played those games and you're familiar with those games, and they're solid games for sure.
Yeah, his most recently released game, I guess, was technically Queen by Pinball Brothers. So that was like his final game. But
okay.
I think that technically was his last full design. Anyway, so that's who Barry O is.
And I want to just be so Barry O passed away in 2022. When we talk about this game, I mean, they slapped Barry O's name on it, not just his likeness, but his name on it. I'll be very clear that we're distinguishing between Barry and any comments or criticisms about this game. All right, like this is how American Pinball decided to roll with it. Just keep that in mind. I have no positive, negative, strong feelings on Barry O. I played many of his games and like it, but this is a theme that they're rolling with. So let me just put that out there before we proceed with this conversation.
That's right. Nothing personal against Barry O. All right, so that's Barry O. So talk us through what we're seeing here as far as like the theme of the game and what the layout of the pinball machine and all that.
So we got a comment that this thing just dropped on Friday. And we got some like lack of pictures of the game, like kind of the typical shot of a pinball machine that you'd see on a flyer, and the layout. That's kind of it. We haven't seen American Pinball has not given us a trailer to really look at. This is a very bizarre launch, to say the least. So on the back glass is Barry. He's in a hot rod. He's got, I guess, some hot sauce in his hand, and I think I can't even tell from the picture. He's like dragging his like smoker or something. I don't know. I mean, I like barbecue, but I don't live and die by barbecue. The cabinet has some pretty terrible artwork on it, I would say. Like the front where the coin door is like wood. Like wood just like I understand that you need wood for the smoker, but okay.
Yeah. It looks like they went to iStock Photo and searched for a pile of chopped wood.
Yeah.
Found a high resolution image and just dropped it on the front of his cabinet.
Well said, like. Kevin. Well said. It's not even like an artist drew that and made it look nice or interesting. Like it looks very fucking lazy. Yeah. To say the least, and it doesn't aesthetically look good. Like you think that looks good in your lineup. Not that most people are looking at the art in the coin door, but it does matter, right? A lot of people, the art is very important to them. The backglass art is fine. I think it's kind of got that Williams-esque fun era attitude to it. It's fine. It's got a pig is driving the car, so if you're into animals driving vehicles and stuff like that, then you're gonna love it.
Yeah, but the issue with it's like not a cohesive art package, right? Like this is cool. It'd be nice if the rest of the cabinet looked like this, right?
Right, like it's not cohesive. So the front shouldn't be like this real like image of logs, it should flow with that, right? And the side of the cabinet doesn't flow with that. So they did a good job with the translite, and the rest it just looks lazy.
And the speaker panel that is like a top-down view of charcoal over with
like
a grate
that?
in front of it.
Yeah,
Anyways.
I saw some video of like the LCD. I haven't seen much, but it shows like turkey legs being roasted.
Oh my
Like, I mean, I guess that's what you got to do, but it's not like like cartoony kind of maybe fun what you would expect from Williams. It's just like full motion video of like
There you
food
go.
being cooked. There it is.
Turkey legs.
Yeah. Wow. Like this is such a low effort.
So bad, dude.
It is so bad. Thank you, Kevin. It's just like
I can't help it.
if they at least mimic the art on the translite and made this kind of like colorful and fun, like okay, like I'm we can try to be positive there, but a full motion video of like cooking turkey legs. This is somebody thought this was a good idea.
I can't. Then
Somebody
somebody
signed up on it. I can imagine the
yeah.
ideas that got rejected.
I was looking through the thread on Pinside, and somebody found the actual like stock footage. So they didn't even shoot their own footage of barbecuing. They went to,
Oh my God.
They literally did go to like iStock Photo or one of those
Oh my
stock image
God.
sites and got clips of stuff being barbecued and just dropped it in there. So there you go.
And honestly, there's not much more we can say about this game. We can like when it was revealed, people were saying that, hey, this looks an awful lot like another game from American Pinballs, which is Hot Wheels, like in terms of the layout. It's a fan layout. So it's not exactly that, but it's certainly got some of that to it. I don't know. It's got like a few ramps, Kevin, fan layout, like no toys whatsoever that I'm aware of on this game. Are you?
No, it's two big swooping ramps, which are kind of a Barry Osler, hallmark. You think about the big sweeping ramp on Doctor Who or Bram Stoker's Dracula, like he likes those, so that makes sense to him. I do also like the locks on the sides, which is reminiscent of Space Shuttle. So there are a lot of nods to some of Barry's signature playfield designs, which I like. This video we're showing you is from P-Dub's Arcade Loft if you're watching. So shout out to them. They got some footage of that game from one of the shows it was at this weekend. And
I watched his video, which it was nice that he got this and filmed it. Some of the quotes that he had, it's like an EM, and it's slow.
if you, he said so many
he said,
times,
don't sell a game for
it's all
$7,000.
old and slow so many times.
Old and slow.
Yeah,
Old and slow.
If you skip to about 7 minutes and 20 seconds in the video, because he keeps talking about how fun it is and he was surprised by it, blah blah blah. You might be surprised. But the bottom line
I'm
is
definitely surprised, Kevin.
He gets to 7 minutes in, and he's like, "This is super fun. Would I buy it? No." And I think that's the recurring theme we're seeing over and over. And I wanted to do a little research. So I'm like, all right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we always see those threads about people clamoring for original themes. Maybe this is it. It's got like I'm seeing throwbacks to stuff like Diner. You can see maybe this is the theme people have been clamoring for, the original theme. So on Pinside, one of the common thread types when a new machine comes out is the "Are you in or are you out on buying this game?" So it's like I'm gonna start one for this theme, and we'll see. Let's get some actual numbers for context. Here's the Foo Fighters, which was a pretty popular game, right? I think kind of inherently most of the time people are going to say no, because there's always going to be more people who aren't buying a game than are buying a game. But you can see percentage-wise where things kind of lay out. So Foo Fighters, a popular Stern title, 60% of people were no thanks. 32% said yes, I'm in. And
how many people are 32%? 179 votes?
179 votes. 337 votes for no thanks. And 9% said maybe. That was 50 votes. So you've got over 200 people who are either yes or maybe. For a more what am I trying to say? A boutique pinball manufacturer. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. From Pinball Brothers, but a good theme. Alien. There was on the main thread here. Are you in or are you out? 62 people said they were buying the limited version. 59 people said they were buying the.
But this is what.
This is
I'm sorry.
Alien.
Oh, okay.
It's Alien.
That explains it.
It's Alien. 33% said this is split 3 ways pretty much. So 33% said limited, 32% said standard, and 35% said not interested. So that's pretty even. And then Godfather, which was a more divisive game, 7% said they were in on an LE. 20% or 60 votes were in on a CE, and 73%, which is pretty high, 223 votes said they're out. Okay, now that we have that context, let's take a look at Barry O. Are you in? So this is we're around 250 votes total for this poll. 7%, 18 people said they're in. 198 people, 82% said they are out, and 26 votes, 11% said they are maybe. So again, this is a snapshot in time, right? Like, so Nick and I always talk about why you need licensed themes. You need licensed themes because you get people to get their wallets out and buy the game. With an original theme, you're not going to have that instant, give me this game immediately. It's my favorite movie. It's my favorite band. It's my favorite TV show. I got to have it right now. All the comments I'm seeing are saying either I'm out or looks fun, I need to play it first. And even if the people who are saying I need to play it first, they're probably not going to buy it. They're just going to play it at their arcade. If their arcade decides to buy it, then they're going to go home without buying it. Am I wrong, Nick?
100%. You posted this quote in our chat, and I think this sums it up, and I really like this quote. This quote comes from Ron Cameron. It's a post on Pinball Enthusiast. He writes, "All right, I rarely complain about games, and never before I play them. But who is American Pinball's barbecue pin designed for? ? And he writes, I like it, American Pinball. I love barbecue. I love Barry Osler's designs. I really hate paying more than $7K for a new pin. I check all the boxes, and yet this announcement does nothing for me. I hope it sounds like hotcakes and it's an excellent pin, but this one I'll really need to play before I get excited about it. And I hope that American Pinball knows what they're doing. Part of me is very, very afraid of the theme choice." So here is somebody, right? They found this is the Venn
diagram, yeah.
Yes, they found the Venn diagram. They found somebody who likes American Pinball, which there's not a huge amount of people that like them. There's people that like American Pinball, and they've made games that people like, but it's not like a Stern or Jack. So you got somebody who likes it. You got somebody who likes Osler. Most people like barbecue, but this guy loves it. The price point, and yet it's still a swing and a miss for like your target customer.
Yeah, this is like even people. There's some people on Pinside who don't know who Barry O, or like on Pinball Enthusiasts. They're like, "Who is Barry O? Like, is he some barbecue guy? Like, what's going on?"
My business owner, one of my business partners, messages me on Friday. He's like, "I found our next new game for our route," and he shows me this game, and he was joking, right? He's making fun of it. Like, it's a joke, right? Like, it's just, why on earth? It doesn't appeal to casuals. You're going to think, like, as you said, Kevin, like, who's Barry O? Like, is that a Food Network star? That's another thing my business partner mentions. Is it a Food Network star? Like, who the hell is Barry O? It's beyond bizarre. And you're going to put out a game with no toys. Now, we've talked before where I think that there is a market for, like, early solid state games. Right, like a Fathom-esque game, like we saw Beatles do well. This one has ramps, so it's more of us like an 80s, 90s game, right? But without the toys that people look for, which certainly helps bring down the cost. But I don't know, man. We really ragged on GTF, and we're just like, what the fuck is this? And then somehow They looked at that. They didn't sell many GTFs at all. I mean, that game had to be a commercial failure. And then they come out with this, an even worse theme. And it's like, at this point when we talk about it, it's like, if you're kind of like making fun of something, and then somebody comes you along and says, hey, that person actually has some cognitive issues, and you're like, oh, I feel really bad making fun of them. This is to the point where I almost feel bad ragging on it, because it's just so head-scratching and bizarre. And again, man, like, how do you have... This game's going to be a failure, 100%. GTF was a big failure. This is their next game. This is going to be a failure. How many failures can American Pinball have in a row like this? Like, what deep war chest of money do they keep on making games like this? Is there anybody at the company that says, hey, time out, why are we making this? Who is this for? What is the market for? Will people want this? Is there any indication that this is going to sell well? Why are we doing this? Sure, and Kevin, you made a good point. Maybe if somebody made a custom tribute game to Barry Ausler, this would have been it. That's like a one and done. It's a custom thing, like custom game. You know how people bring games to the show and they remake a game. Like, fine. This is not a commercial game that if you're a serious pinball company, you put out and you expect to sell. I saw in the chat says maybe they'll sell to restaurants, right? Like I saw a post the American Pinball did where they're going to try to sell GTFs to ice cream shops. You fucking serious? Like, that's your business plan? Like, you're trying to sell GTF to ice cream shops? First of all, I understand that there's ice cream in the store and you got to get it, but you just look at the game, there's no connection to ice cream off the bat. And then ice cream shops, are they the hotbed of pinball? First of all, like in the Northeast, they're all like closed in the wintertime. They're a seasonal thing. It's just the decision making is almost a parody and laughable. When this game was launched, people said to themselves, is this April 1st? I had to check. Are they trolling us? No, they're not. This is a serious effort in a game to follow up a game that was a failure. Where do they go from here? You mentioned, Kevin, on the last podcast that, maybe they're going to do Cuphead and maybe they're going to do Power Rangers. Are they? Are they going to be able to hemorrhage money like this and not pay employees? Are people going to lose jobs over this? Like, you're running a pinball company. There's jobs at stake. And this is what you come out with? You're competing against Jaws right now. You're competing against Foo Fighters, Pulp Fiction, Labyrinth. I know I'm missing some, Kev. Princess Bride.
Aliens still being sold.
Aliens. Yeah. Not to mention the secondary market, the used market, pinball machines, is absolutely crashing right now. So you can get games at good deals where 2 years ago you really couldn't. There's great deals to be had right now. You're competing against all of that. And this is what you produce. I just don't know what goes on in that company. I mean, it's hilarious. It's sad. It's confusing. I don't know how this company can exist anymore. It is very weird, very bizarre, very, very bizarre. Even if this game was fun and good, okay? Even if it's fun and good, the theme is going to kill it alone, right? Like, Dialed In was a good game. It was a fun game, and it didn't do well because of the theme was off-putting to people, period. And Jersey Jack, they tried something in 2016, 2017, okay? I think it was 2016, because the market at the time hadn't had an original theme for a long time, all right? Like, I understand why they didn't, but why they made it. It didn't work. People said, okay, and they moved on, they learned from it. And yet, here's American Pinball doubling down. We thought that the theme was going to be food truck, so it's adjacent to that, right? This is worse than food truck somehow because it's really puzzling with Barry O's barbecue challenge. The fuck is that? Who is Barry O? Like, to anybody else who's not a super nerd like us, it's very, very puzzling, very weird. Kev, do you think I don't know if this is planned or incompetence. Is it the reason that we haven't seen a reveal trailer or good footage of this game just because they're trying to just get this out and forget about it and move on at this point?
That's a good question. The whole reveal aspect of this has been a little head scratchy. It's crazy too to think how different it has been from Galactic Tank Force. If you remember the build up to GTF, it was teaser after teaser after teaser, and we're gonna have all these assets, and we got all these actors that you've never heard of. Remember all that? Everybody remembers that. And it got to the point where, like, just show us the game already. And they took the total opposite approach with this, where they just kind of dumped it on the internet. Pictures showed up on Pinside, the web page came up, and then they're like, oh yeah, these are going to be on location tomorrow, and they're going to be at conventions and stuff, which I like. I think that's a cool strategy. And they did that with Legends of Valhalla too, where they announced it and then it was playable on location at, a dozen or so arcades around the country. I think that's awesome. Give people the chance to get their hands on the game and play it, especially with original themes like that. That's a smart idea. What's not a smart idea is not having the rest of your media ready to go when this launches, right? You want to have a trailer. You want to have a stream schedule, or at least like a YouTube video showing gameplay, because not everybody lives within driving distance of these dozen or so arcades or the few shows that it's at this weekend. So you need to have all that other stuff ready to go too. Otherwise, you're going to end up with potato cam footage like you're seeing all over Facebook and YouTube of people just setting up their phone and shooting a little video, and you can kind of hear the sound, and you can see the light show and you see the ball moving around, but that's it. You don't really get a feel for what the rules are like or what the audio experience is. David Thiel is the audio person on this. Show that off. That's right.
I've not heard any music or anything yet.
The best part
right?
of this game is probably the audio, and nobody's hearing it.
Yeah, David Thiel is the John Williams of pinball, right? Like he's amazing. They're lucky. That's the best thing it's got going for me. You're absolutely right, Kevin. Yeah, my advice to American Pinball is what is the Costanza advice? Like whatever your first thought is, do the fucking opposite of it. Okay? Like and you might have a chance of being successful.
Two more points I want to make, and you can feel free to jump in or add anything else too. But one thing I want to point out that has been a little head scratchy to me, but there's I'm scratching my head a lot at this if you haven't picked that up. So
you got a rash.
Yeah,
it's so much scratching.
Go do yourself a favor and just read the webpage, because the marketing copy on this is hilarious. But this paragraph here, they've been getting a lot of kudos for this, which I think aren't necessarily justified. So they position it like, commemorating Barry's legacy, the royalties from Barry O's BBQ challenge will be directed to his estate, supporting his family and continuing his impactful contribution to the world of pinball. And I see people taking that and reiterating it in a way that it's not written. And we'll talk more about how people misinterpret things later when we talk about the JJP board set and what I said on the last show. So what they're saying is they're paying royalties to Barry's family because he's not here to get the royalties he would normally get, basically, for selling these games. It's based on his design. And they're literally using his name, image, and likeness as part of this, as a selling point for this machine. So yes, they should be paying his estate. Just much like the Beatles, John Lennon's estate probably made money from the sale of the Beatles machine. That's how this works. It's not a charity piece. This is a thing that happens when you license things or use someone's name, image, and likeness in a product like this. And they're not saying all proceeds are going to this. They're saying the royalty. So there's a X amount was set aside for royalties for Barry's family. They're still going to be making money on this. It's not a charity product. Okay. Do you agree with my interpretation of that, Nick?
Yeah, it was it's again, they didn't achieve what they thought they were achieving, right? So, like a lot of things with American Pinball is if you take what they're saying and you don't really think about it, then you roll around and you're like, that's fine. And then you put just half an ounce of thought into it, like your analysis, Kevin. Yeah, it's like, yeah, you're 100% right. Yes, but if you're going to use somebody's like image, likeness, or whatever, like, yes, you would expect to pay them royalties. Yes, of course you would expect to pay Barry, or in this case, his family. So why are you putting that in there?
It also comes across as a little slimy that they're kind of trying to position it like it's a charity thing too. That's how it reads to me. It's like they're trying 100%. Yeah.
Well, they're going to need to do everything in their power with this game. It's just too bad. Honestly, I'm sure there's talented people over at American Pinball, and it's just too bad that time is being spent on this. This is really it's really too bad. That's it, right? Like,
the other thing that the other point I want to make was like, I remember, and you listened to some of the podcasts in the lead up to this too, when the whole like, are they going out of business, American Pinball thing, and I swear Dave was saying that this was Barry Ausler's final design. Do you remember that? Like, this is his last design we're bringing into market.
Yeah, it sounds right. I don't know for sure, but yeah.
And there's some of that going around too, where this is his final design. But then if you look at the webpage, it actually says like, it's contributions from Steve Bowden, Dennis Nordman, Ryan McWade. In design assistance, played a vital role in defining the game's playfield. So there are a lot of hands in the playfield design on here. This is not Barry's final design. you know, maybe he had some sketches, but then you had, you know, like you said, all these other talented people at AP like Steve Bowden, Dennis Norman, Ryan McQuaid, helping and pitching in and getting it over the finish line. So, yeah, lots of hands in the pot making this product come to market, and want everybody to get credit like they deserve. So, that's all I got. Anything else on this?
No, but I do have some more positive things. I got a live announcement. So,
Okay.
Just heard from Scott from Penn Stadium. We're gonna also give away a set of Neo X Atoms valued at $399.95. So make sure to get those raffles in. If you're watching on Twitch, enter what is it? !win.
#win.
#win. #win into the chat. And now we're giving a set of Neo X Atoms. There we go, along with the Titan $50 gift certificate. So there you go, folks.
Yep. They're $99.95.
It pays
value.
to watch.
Yeah,
it
there
pays
you
to
go.
watch.
Sneak attack with a giveaway. So #win in chat. Get in on that. We'll pick the winner at the end of the show. So thanks for hanging out. Thanks to Penn Stadium. All right. What's next? Oh boy, this is another good one. We got all sorts of good stuff for you. I got to find where this is. Okay, here we go. Haggus Pinball. You remember them. This is kind of like out of nowhere. I was like, we haven't heard from them in a while on the last show. And I didn't have any inside information or anything like that. And then about a week or so after our show, this email came through saying that they need to, quote, recapitalize. I'll just read it to you. Tuck in. It'll be story time with Kevin. I'll read this Haggus update so we get the full context. So it says, Haggus update. I hope this message finds you well. I'm reaching out to share some important updates about Haggus Pinball and the status of your game order. As I'm sure you have heard once or twice before, manufacturing pinball machines is hard. It is a multidisciplined, multifaceted endeavor incorporating a wide and varied number of components and skills. Starting this endeavor from my garage in Australia at the onset of a global pandemic has proved to be extremely difficult. While we have been incredibly proud of the quality of games we have produced and the innovation and creation of an industry that did not exist in this country, our throughput and ability to manufacture games in a timely manner has been our shortcoming. Over the last 2.5 years, we have produced 3 different titles and developed an immense capability, setting us up for ongoing future success. Our manufacturing methodology is based on just-in-time and lean principles, which I still believe is the optimum strategy. However, this model has a tight coupling and dependency on supply chain continuity and efficiencies. Any interruption to the supply chain, of which we have faced many, have a flow-on effect that decreases our throughput and introduces ongoing delays and backlogs. As we wind down the end of the Fathom Revisited production and swing into Centaur Revisited, we have made the decision to adjust our manufacturing methodology to move away from such a tight dependency on the supply chain to support our forecasted throughput better. To support this change, we will need to further slow down our production activities, recapitalize, and refocus our procurement strategies and partner offerings. In the short term, what this will mean for those of you currently waiting on a game from us is that there will be further delays. Of this, I am incredibly sorry. Your patience and support, and the broader community's patience and support has been tremendous and incredibly important to me and Haggus Pinball as a whole. We would not be able to do what we do without it, so this makes it even harder for me to deliver this news of further delays. However, I believe that for the ongoing continued success of the company, it is something we need to address now rather than repeat the experiences we have had over the production lifecycle of Fathom Revisited. Just to clarify, we are still manufacturing, boxing, and shipping games. That has not changed. So yes, once again, I will ask for your patience and support while we pivot and refocus to improve the ability to build the highest quality games in the world. Thank you for being part of our journey. We value your trust and support immensely. Kind regards, Damien. Yeah. So there you go. So, Nick, do you know what recapitalization is?
I don't. I should.
I looked it up. Most people don't know. Okay, so Investopedia. I work for a business school. When one of our professors is talking about things that I don't understand, this is a place I go to. They're like, oh, what does that mean? Okay, so what is recapitalization? So according to Investopedia, they say recapitalization is the process of restructuring a company's debt and equity mixture, often to stabilize a company's capital structure. So they say the process mainly involves the exchange of one form of financing for another, such as removing preferred shares from the company's capital structure and replacing them with bonds. Key takeaways. Recapitalization is the restructuring of a company's debt and equity ratio. Your purpose is to stabilize a company's capital structure. And this was kind of the key takeaway for me. Some of the reasons a company may consider recapitalization include a drop in share price, which they wouldn't have because they're not a public company, defend against a hostile takeover, or bankruptcy. So the warning lights are going off for Haggis, as far as I'm concerned. They've been taking longer and longer to ship games from the point when they tell people, okay, your machine's ready to go. We need you to pay in full. People are sending their money and then not getting their games for months. It was supposed to be like 2 months, I think, was the time period they were telling people it would take from, full payment to receiving it. And it's taken like, I swear I saw somebody said it's been a month or a year and they're still waiting for their game. So it's not looking good. And I would be cautious. If you have money, then in this, good luck to you. Hopefully you can get your money back if there's a deposit you have in. But a lot of times these deposits are not refundable. Although there was I've been kind of in and out of the Haggis thread on Pinside, and folks are saying that according to Australian law, if they don't actually produce product, then you might be able to get your deposit back, something like that. So check into that thread for details. But I don't know, Nick, any thoughts on this?
Yeah, look, the writing's on the wall. It's not looking good. Pinball is hard, especially for these smaller companies. They need to produce hits. They need to produce the games out there. You should never pay for a game that is not complete and ready to, if you're going to buy a game, you should only buy a game where as soon as you send you the money, they have the game to send you. That's it. And, people always come into this hobby. Maybe somebody's only been in it for a couple years and they haven't seen some of the nonsense that's happened over the last 10 years. But I cannot stress that enough. We're trying to help people here. I honestly, stick with Stern, stick with JJP. Spooky also delivers. American Pinball has games that they deliver on too as well. P3 is good. It seems like the Barrels of Fun is new and still improving, but so far so good. But look, man, if somebody's taking your money and the game is not ready and they're promising you a game in the future, don't give them your money. Simple. Really, really simple.
It's simple. Buy products that exist. That's our tagline on this.
The only reason that they're doing it is because they've got a Ponzi set up. They're taking your money to complete projects from other people and then shipping those people, taking your money and shipping other people a game, and it's the greater fool, right? You don't want to be it's like musical chairs. You don't want to play that game. I promise you don't want to play that game.
Nice. All right. Thank you, Nick. Let's talk a little JJP. Where am I going here? Oh, let's start with the board. The board set fun. So last month we talked a little bit about this new IO board that JJP has come out with and is available from places like Pinball Life. And I said we had some inside knowledge. I was not making this up. That replacing the caps will get you about 70% there as to the performance improvements of what you get from just replacing the whole board. Let's take a trip over to Pinside, where Java Grind 888 said the Brew Even Pinball podcast is reporting only 70% strength upgrade and changing the caps versus buying the board. Any truth to this? And that's not what I said. That's what you heard. I said it gets you 70% as to the overall performance improvements, not just strength upgrade. Okay, it's small but important, and it's easy to confuse things, right? Okay, so whatever. Somebody else says I had to turn down the flipper strength on GNR with a cap change for $12 and a little bit of my time, and take that value over $399. That's fair. Somebody else says, did they give a reason, or did they just pull that figure out of their ass? And somebody says, oh, well, apparently it's just out of their ass. Well, I did not just pull that out of my ass. I wouldn't go ahead and say I had a source on something if I didn't have a source on something. So our good friend Scott Denisi, to the rescue, went on. I want to pull up his post here. Went on record, and he gave me the okay to share that the details on this. So here's what they changed beyond just replacing the cap. So it's not just the cap replacement. There are other improvements they made on this board. So he said, number one, larger caps on the HV line, which increases the current availability to coils. So that's what everybody's doing on their own. If you want to just replace your caps, go ahead. That's cool. It's a lot cheaper, whatever. But there are other improvements on the board. Number two, thicker copper weight in the PCB. You can see that the weight of the copper has increased a bit to reduce resistance in the traces. 2.5, thicker traces. This is also done to reduce resistance in the circuit. 3, different resistors, values and wattage. The resistors on the input side of the board have changed, and the new ones can handle more current and heat. This is only speculation, but this was probably done as an upgrade to reduce heat in that area of the board. Someone can confirm this if they have an IR temp gauge and both boards. Number 4, miscellaneous trace updates. The ground plane was also changed on this new revision as well. This is just a better design as it reduces any resistance difference in the ground. So there you go. That's all in the Buffalo Pinball Discord. If you want to read it for yourself, make sure I didn't pull it out of my ass. I did not. I guarantee you. It's in there. Go check it out. So my thinking was, for a game like Pirates, it's a valuable game. I wouldn't want to take any chances with it. I would just go ahead and buy the board, and that's what I did. I installed it. It's a pretty easy swap. It's like pulling a board out of your old Bally Williams back box. Got a bunch of connectors. They're all keyed, so they don't. You're not going to mistakenly put something on the wrong connector. But I did take pictures of everything when I was taking it out because that's a good practice. Plugged everything back in. Make sure the little USB cable's connected in the upper right. That one's easy to miss. And then I put it in, and there I can confirm there is a significant improvement in the flipper power. I had to, and it improves power to not just the flippers, but to all the coils. So I ended up tweaking some of my coil settings. So my auto plunger was stronger, and it was making the ball rattle on the way up. So I actually decreased the power of my auto plunger. The scoop kickout was okay. I'm trying to think what else. I think the auto plunger was the main problem. Oh, and the kickout from the trough into the shooter lane, I turned that down too, because you only really need that as strong as it needs to be to just plop it in there. You don't need it tearing up your shooter lane. So I turned that down a little bit too. So that's my thoughts, my hands-on thoughts with it. It's been, I actually ended up increasing the pitch on my Pirates a little bit too, which is kind of nice. It makes it play a little faster. It's got the snappier flippers. You can still rip the ramps. And I think it's a solid upgrade. If you have a JJP machine from before the Toy Story 4. So starting with Toy Story 4, they have this board in them. So you don't need to do any of the upgrades. If you have an earlier machine and you want to do the upgrade, you can swap the board. There's something different with Wizard of Oz that you can't just swap the board, but folks in the thread have been doing the cap upgrade on that. So, or if you just want to upgrade the caps for a couple bucks, go ahead and do that too. But I don't want to take any chances. Those are my thoughts on that. So that's revisiting a topic from last time. So there we go. Also from JJP, they have Guns N' Roses code update and beta, because I know a lot of folks have been clamoring for score balancing and that's the focus of that code new rework. So I'm in the JJP beta test, and I've been seeing all the chatter on that, and people have been putting up crazy scores in the songs. And I think they just put out the second score balancing update. So more to come on that. And according to the Quick Flips newsletter from JJP, that is expected to come out in the second quarter of this year. So if you're a GNR owner, and I know they sold a ton of those, be on the lookout for that. I know that's something folks were looking for. Okay, so that was my topic revisited from last time. Nick Lane has a topic he wanted to revisit from last time, which is the baby games topic.
Yeah, I'm not going to spend more than a couple minutes on it. First of all, shout out to Nudge Magazine for they wrote about this, they picked it up, they liked what we said, and even if they didn't like what they said, like if they disagreed with it, I'm guessing Nudge would have put out some interesting thoughts on it, and we'd have a good discussion about it. And that's one thing I really like is, like, I don't think I'm always right. I mean, I know this is my opinion on things. I always like to hear a good representation of the other side. However, after we clipped that segment and put it up on YouTube, I just saw a lot of people commenting. Well, first of all, half the comments were like, I agree 100%. The ones that disagreed just weren't that interesting to me because it's like they didn't hear what I said. They heard what they wanted to hear. They saw it as gatekeeping, or somehow I think that I don't care about like newer players or casual players in pinball, which is, if you listen to it again, this is not what I said at all. So I'm sorry I have to waste my time for people who actually do listen to what I say. But just to clear things up, number one, Kevin and I are not gatekeepers in pinball at all. Like, the reason we do this show is to educate and to help people and to explain things. The reason we started the Bro Show was to do tutorials on how to play pinball. That is our motivation for doing the Bro Show. That was the origins of it. When we run tournaments, we're very cognizant of trying to get new people in and making sure that there's special prize divisions for new people. Like, I've lost count of how many people in my personal life I've got into pinball. I spent a lot of time thinking about pinball. I spent a lot of time thinking about what makes for a good game, and often what makes for a good game is a game that somebody who knows nothing about pinball can find satisfaction in, and somebody who is, been playing pinball as long as me and Kevin and are into rules and deep knowledge of a game and have, the competent players can find value in, right? Like, that is a good pinball machine. So I wasn't saying that we don't want to have pinball machines that are going to be off-putting to newer players. I said no more baby games. So if you're confused by that, I'd suggest going and watching it again. Some points off the top of that is like, you've got a game like Iron Man, and Iron Man's a punishing, brutal game for new players and experienced players, but it's fun. Iron Man doesn't need to be a game that's like a new player can play forever. It does one cool thing, which the ironmonger comes up and you bash it, and it's brutal and it's fun. That's great. And more experienced players will maybe enjoy some of the rules of knowing what to start in what order, things like that, but it's a game that appeals to anybody. So I don't know, go back and listen to it. I don't want to spend much more time on that segment because this is just a function of talking to people that choose not to really hear what I'm saying, and they've got a preconception of it, and they want to argue me on that rather than bringing forth a good argument or a good counterpoint. So, and again, I'll take responsibility. Maybe if I'm not cursing in a segment or coming off hot or strong on it, and again, when you don't watch the whole podcast or you don't watch all our podcasts and you don't hear, I try not to repeat too many things, then I get it. Maybe you're responding to that. So that part's on me. But Kevin and I are not gatekeepers. Kevin and I both believe that a good pinball machine will have something to satisfy somebody who doesn't know anything about pinball and will satisfy our players and playing for a long time. And that's the balance I'm trying to strike, and the whole point of that segment.
All right. Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's always good to, go back, and especially if there's like, with that, like the JJP board thing, I'm like, I'm not going to get into it with the folks on Pinside because it's just going to turn into a shouting match on the internet. We can go back here and readdress it, and then everybody has the benefit of like making sure we're all understanding things from the same perspective. So I appreciate that. All right, let's jump over to what is quickly becoming one of our most favorite recurring segments on the show. It's mods you don't need. I feel like we need Tim Kitzrow doing an intro for mods you don't need, but I do have a mod you don't need. A lot of times, so if you see a ridiculous pinball mod and you want to send it in, talkpinball@gmail.com, hit me up on Discord. This one, I think somebody sent me this. Yeah, this might have come from our buddy Matt in our group chat. So let's just jump over here. This is the if you have a Star Wars, a Stern Star Wars, or I suppose any Star Wars machine, and you are like, well, it's good, but what if it was a little more like The Exorcist? Well, this is the mod for you. It is the rotating Yoda head that you can put in your Star Wars for some reason. Let me get the pricing on this for everybody. 160 pounds. Oh no, euros. 160 euros. Wow. You two can have the rotating Yoda head inside your Stern Star Wars.
Wait a minute. Oh, ew. Why is this? Ew. He'd be dead.
Why is it spinning?
Why?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That is silly.
160 euros for that.
Oh, Jesus. Mods you don't need. Yeah.
Mods you don't need, ladies and gentlemen. Mods you don't need.
You don't need that.
Do not get that. Do not spend 160 euros on that. He does also make a Stormtrooper helmet version of this, which I suppose is a little less weird because it could just be the helmet, not the guy's actual head spinning around. But still, for that much money, no. Hashtag mods you don't need. Okay. It's a quick one this month. Let's do some game room updates. Game room updates. I've had some big game room updates. So my biggest one is that I swapped a pinball machine. I sold one and got a new one. Toy Story is out. My buddy Dave Sousa, Digital Jedi, he's probably hanging in chat. He really wanted a Toy Story, and he's been hitting me up for mine since I got mine. So I sold it to him. It's his first Jersey Jack, so congratulations to him. He's enjoying it. And one of the machines I've always kind of wanted, and I've always liked, but never pulled the trigger on for various reasons, has been Alien. And I was, so my buddy Patrick had an Alien, and I was going to buy it, but he had already promised it to somebody else. I was like, all right, I'll just sell Toy Story, and it'll be like an open spot, and when something comes along that I want, I'll have an open spot and some money, I can buy it. Well, like 2 days later, Patrick is like, well, my buddy went and bought Alien LV2, so he doesn't need the standard version. Do you still want it? So I ended up getting a pretty good deal on Alien standard version with the plus that it had a bunch of mods on it already, which are really cool. And Alien, to me, there aren't many pinball machines that I think like really lend themselves well to mods. Personally, I don't go overboard putting a bunch of mods on things, but I think Alien is one of them that really kind of lends itself to it. And he's got the mod that puts the apron on there, the interactive apron that adds more lighting to the playfield. It also allows you to put the beacons on there, like from the Highway Pinball original Alien, which is really cool, and they integrate with gameplay. So that's a mod I would have liked. So I got that without having to install it. Also, Patrick did the hard work of making sure everything works on the game. That's one of the reasons why I didn't buy an Alien for many years, is because I would always hear about how many issues it had. Thankfully, Patrick went through it. It's playing great. Haven't had any problems with it. Knock on wood. And it also came with the new protector set that recently came out. Somebody on Pinside is selling them. So it's like got the green, neon green, like plastic protectors, which look really cool. So I finished putting those on. I'm super happy with it. That game, it's second only to Hobbit as far as David Thiel games come. It might even surpass Hobbit. I've always said Hobbit is my favorite David Thiel sound package. And from a presentation and immersion standpoint, that game is incredible. And Alien is right there with it. And now that I have one in the house and can really appreciate it, and I have an external sub hooked up to it, the game's really good. I'm really enjoying that game. So super happy with it. And it eats the ball. Thank you, RLM in chat. I'm slowly converting my entire lineup of games to games that eat the ball, because that's all you need in pinball. I have a Roadshow now, and I have an Alien. Both eat the ball. So let's go. We're making that. Tron's gonna have to go. It doesn't eat the ball. Sorry, everybody. So that was the big thing. The other big change was, you can see it behind me here. My big buck, that's normally lurking over my right shoulder, is out, and Nick's taking off. So I'll be right back. He'll be right back. Big buck is out. The Jaguar games are in. Look at that. That's a good time because I can show you. Look at that. Woo! Atari Jaguar, baby. I got the whole collection right there. The full set is there in addition to my new on games and some other like Switch stuff. I wanted to pull all that out of the closet and have it on display. So that's cool. And I also moved my Jaguar kiosk over there, so it could be Jaguar Corner. And there you go. The dream became reality. Big Buck was out. I found a really cool local-ish collector. He's an hour or so away. Who bought the Big Buck for his son as a gift. So Scott Denisi, hi. So that's out. Loading that beast into his truck was not fun. The thing is heavy as heck. Those CRTs are heavy, but we got it out. I got cash. I got room. I got my Jaguar games on display. And in the video game front, I've been playing on the PS5 a lot. I've been playing. I just finished. There's a new RoboCop Rogue City. It's called. Super fun game. I'll tell Nick about this. The RoboCop Rogue City. Have you played that yet?
I have not. No.
Highly recommended. I just beat it. It totally nails the whole movie because I had recently rewatched RoboCop, and it's got like all the characters in there. It puts you in the police precinct. It looks exactly like it does in the movie. They nailed it. So highly recommend that game. I beat that, and I restarted Cyberpunk because they finally got that game to the point where it's not terrible, and it's actually really good now. So I went and I bought a used copy for the PS5, which gives you a free PS4. If you buy the PS4 version and you have a PlayStation 5, you get a free upgrade to the PS5 version. So I'm playing the PlayStation 5 version for $20, basically. And it's been great so far. I started over from the beginning just because I wanted to get the full experience. I had played it like 15-ish hours or so on the PS4 version when it first came out. And then I got to this point where there was a game-breaking bug, and then I sold it. So highly recommended. They have a new add-on to it too, so I'll probably end up getting that. So I played that a bunch yesterday. So that's my game room updates. Nick, what have you been doing in your game room?
I've been playing a little bit of pinball. The Stern's got his little March Madness thing, so I played some games this week just for the hell of it, just to do my part for the state of New York. But played a little more Pirates lately, which we're going to talk about because I just really wanted to play the game and get back into it. And then I've just been playing a lot of VR. This is like a VR time. I think that's going to be coming to an end when the weather gets better. But I've been playing a game called Contractor Showdown, which is in beta. It's like a battle royale. It's a very well done game. So that's how I've been spending my time.
Nice. And do you want to talk about your year in review of owning Big Buck?
Yeah, I can quick. I'll make this quick. So I've owned Big Buck Hunter Reloaded for about a year and a half now. And this is a game, I've always been partial to Big Buck Hunter. I've never really gone out in public and played it, but it always was a shooting game that appealed to me. I feel like it is the best shooting game. I like the concept of it. I like the competitive aspect of it. I think there's a lot of features in it. It's great. So I finally bought one a year and a half ago. I got it from somebody who had bought it new, decided to sell it because they have a subscription model, which is $40 a month. And the guy was just like, yeah, I'm done with this, right? Like, I don't want to pay this. Now, you don't have to pay the $40 a month. You could take your machine offline, as they call it. But when you do so, you only get 5 animals and you don't get to play online. So you don't get online scoreboard where you can play against other people, which is just kind of like the most basic thing ever. So I got it, and I was super excited. I played it for months. I like it. One thing that I like about it is I have this space in my game room where I can't put a pinball machine because I've got a closet behind there, but I can put that game there because it's got wheels on it. So whenever I need to get around it, or I've even got it pulled forward, I can walk around it. I can get to the closet. It just really works in my space. So I think last year I paid for $40 a month from like October to April. I played it a good deal because it was new. I even played it online against some folks like Ben Crane, and our buddy Patrick bought one. Our buddy Patrick like played mine and was like, I've got to buy a Big Buck Hunter, and went out and got one like the next day kind of deal. Since then, he's ended up selling his a few months ago. I've seen other people sell their games, and honestly, if that space in my game room could have another pinball machine, and that thing wasn't the heaviest thing in the world, I'd be tempted to sell mine. I just took it offline again because I was paying $40 a month and not playing it. Part of the problem with the $40 a month thing is it gives you more animals, which is great. So you get like 10 animals instead of 5. I think that's the number they're up to now. You get online scoreboards, which is, again, should be basic and free anyways. And you can play like head-to-head with people online, which is cool. You also get the content called Reloaded. This is why it's Big Buck Hunter Reloaded, which has now The Walking Dead. They just added that. They've got Terminator game on there, and they got some other games as well, and like more bonus modes. Here's the problem. In a home environment, you're not going to play the Terminator game or Walking Dead much. Maybe you play it once, or you have people over at a party and they play it because they're familiar with that. It's cool. It's just not that fun. It's not that great. You're a one and done. The main game is Big Buck Hunter. What I really wish they would do, and again, I don't understand their business model. I'm sure they have their reasons, but I don't understand it as a consumer. I wish I could just do like, okay, access to the high scores for like $5 a month with the 5 animals, or for $10 a month I get all the animals and a scoreboard. Like, I do that, but the $40 a month, I'm paying for this reloaded content, which I do never play and don't care about. And I think most people are in that same boat. So then I got to take the game offline, and it kind of sits there. So it's a real bummer. I love having a Big Buck Hunter Reloaded in my collection. I love going down and seeing it. I love that I have it. Okay, like, really happy. What is the gut punch is their subscription model is just terrible for the home consumer. Maybe it's that way because they kind of like don't really care about selling to the home consumer. It is a bar product. Like, I get that. So they're like, yeah, we'll let you as a home consumer. We'll sell it to you. You can do kind of these online features, but we're going to kind of put it at a price that doesn't encourage that. Maybe that's it. I don't know. And they even have the Big Buck Hunter tournament at the end of the year. And if I wanted to try to qualify for that, it's a worldwide tournament, not only do I have to pay the $40 a month just to play the game that everybody else is playing at a bar, I then have to also pay, like, I think $2 per attempt or something like that. It might be even like $5 for a full attempt. So I have to pay money on top of that to try to qualify. And you've got to pay a lot of money to try to qualify. So it gets crazy expensive. It's just a really weird model. And I think it keeps a lot of people away from this game. Like, they'll buy it, they'll get enthusiastic about it, but eventually they'll look at spending $40 a month. It's just sitting there. I mean, Kevin, you buy a pinball machine. You don't play a pinball machine every day, right? There's months you probably don't play a certain pinball machine, but you're like, hey, I never want to sell this game. I love it. But suddenly, if you had to pay $40 a month to really get the full features of that pinball machine, you probably wouldn't keep it, right? Like, and that's the problem I have with Big Buck Hunter Reloaded. I really wish they would change their model. Like I said, I'm keeping mine because it sits in a space where I'm not sacrificing anything. It's just kind of like a plus. But real warning and hesitation to anybody thinking about getting that. I think you need to take that into consideration first. You might not keep this game for long. Maybe you buy it, put it online, and play it for 6 months, and move it down the road like most people do.
That was kind of nice about the older one that I had, is it didn't have that monthly fee, and I had all the features unlocked. Of course, it didn't have all the online connectivity or anything like that too. So there were trade-offs, but you could just kind of like have it sitting there and not be like, well, I'm not getting the full value out of this that I could be getting, right? So trade-offs, but yeah, I appreciate the year in review look back on that, and I think other people who might be considering that will appreciate it as well. All right, we haven't done one of these in a while. And it's going to be our very first review of a Jersey Jack pinball machine, and we figured, why not start it out with, one of the best games of all time. It's Pirates of the Caribbean. Let's play our intro. We haven't played that in a while either. We'll be right back.
Let's go.
I am okay. Whose life is a bore? The least I've gotten waiting for. Are you ready for your eye exam?
All right, it's Jersey Jack Pinball's Pirates of the Caribbean. This came out in 2018. Game design by Eric Minier. Mechanics by Dan Malter. Wally Welch, Yolanda Weisenton, Joe Katz, JT Harkey and Keith Johnson on software. Jay Zielinski on artwork. Jean-Paul DeWin on animation. And sound and music by the incredible David Thiel. Pricing at launch. The good old days. Remember when everybody thought this was expensive? So 2018 pricing, $8,500 for the standard, $9,500 for the LE, $12,500 for the collector's edition. For kicks, I went on Pinside. For used older games, we tend to give what they're going for now. So I kind of like pulled the median price. It's about $16,000 for the standard, about $20,000 for the LE, and about $30,000 for the collector's edition. They base those on sales that take place on pinside.com. So this is a game that went insane in value, and for good reason, right, Nick?
for very good reason. And I think that we should, even before we get into the review, we should there's a story behind this game. I mean, you got to kind of address the elephant in the room. Why is it so much?
Yeah.
And it's kind of a tragic story in some ways if you think about it. And I'm just going to say up front that I definitely put some thought into this review. I've got about a page and a half notes, so I'll kind of interject, Kevin, as we go through our usual format. But for context for the viewers that maybe don't know this, one of the highlights for Buffalo Pinball was going to do the reveal at Pinball Expo in 2017 of Jersey Jack Pirates. And that stream's still up, Kevin, I take it, on our channel?
I'll pull it up. I can show it while we're talking.
And I remember seeing and playing this game. I remember Eric talking about the features in this game, and just like my mouth was wide open. This was a pivotal moment in pinball for me. The reveal stream and playing it was a blur. I went to bed that night, and I woke up the next morning. We're staying at Pinball Expo. We're in their hotel. I could not wait to run down to the floor to play this game. I've never in my life been so excited for a pinball machine than I was for Jersey Jack Pirates after having played it during that stream and wanting to play more. All I wanted to do was to keep playing this game, and it was the most impressive pinball machine I've ever seen. People often ask me, what my favorite pinball machine is, and a lot of times I answer in terms of what I'm currently playing or something new I have, but the answer overall is Jersey Jack Pirates. It is my desert island game. It is the game I will take with me to the assisted living facility. It is the last game I would ever sell if I ever had to sell a game. I almost made a mistake of selling it last year because it's going for so much money, and thank God I didn't. But here's the story behind this and the price. Well, it's a great game, but the reason that the price is so crazy is that Jersey Jack, this is a huge blunder, unfortunately. I don't know all the details behind it, and they've gotten way better since then. I think there's hard lessons learned, but they showed this off in October 2017 at Pinball Expo. The game did not ship until September 2018. Kevin and I got one of the first ones off the line. So already you've got so many people highlighted. We probably took so many pre-orders, but a year is a long time to have money kind of earmarked in your mind for a game. Other games come along, people get tempted, they spend money, and they get those games. The other things that happened is that there were features in there that they showed off and they said would be in the game that they had to take away. One was the disc was like a 3-spinning disc. I think it's 3, not 4. 3-spinning disc. It all light up. It was definitely impressive looking. They had to change it to just a regular spinning disc. Okay, the chest would open and close. That no longer open and close. It's just open. So between a year and then having to come out and say we're taking features away from the game, I think people abandoned it. I know they did. Then the game comes out in September of 2018. It takes a while for the games to be made and delivered to people. Keith Johnson was on the show, and we asked him why did this game stop being made? And he said, look, it's simple. We had enough to make parts for like 6 months. At that time, we looked at the orders coming in. Do we order more parts for this, or do we move on to the next game? There was not enough demand for more parts, hence they moved on to the next game. And they've never rerun this game. I don't know why they've not rerun this game. There's been speculations that there's licensing issues. The build of materials has to be expensive. You can always adjust for that in cost. There's obviously demand for this game. Will they ever rerun this game? I don't know. Nobody knows. Okay, but that is the story. Now the thing is, this game is a masterpiece. It took people, probably that time from September through March to realize it's a masterpiece, and then it might even take 6 months or a year, right, for some people to play it, to overcome the idea that there were things taken out of it and the game's not that good. It was also expensive at the time. I mean, $9,500 at that time was expensive for a pinball machine. And now, so many people who have been honest with themselves, I'll say that, realize that the game is something special and they want it. But unfortunately, there's just not enough of them made. And Kevin, I'm going to try to pull this up. I'm sorry I don't have it ready. I want to look at how many exist, Maybe you can show. Why don't you show it on your screen? Can you do that?
I have the pin side list
Because there's not a lot of them. I want to see.
Yeah.
I want to see the
You
number
want to
of
go into like
collectors
the
versus.
owners here?
Yeah, like if you scroll down. So here's the LE that Kevin is showing.
Mm-hmm.
378 people on Pinside reported to have this in their collections. There's 603 that want this game. There's only 14 on location in public. Think about that, guys. This game, I'm going to tell you right now, this game, I promise you, if this game was made to meet demand, and this game was all over and people got access to it, I don't know how it cannot be the number one game on Pinside. It is not. It's like 14th or 15th. It's something ridiculous. Like Foo Fighters is ahead of it. Like, mind-blowing. Like, that is...
Yeah, it's tied with Cactus
time.
Canyon for 14th. What a tragedy.
It is a tragedy. But you think about it. You think about it, Kevin.
Yeah.
And this is like a lot of preamble before we talk about this game, but this is a love letter to this game, and it's also our first Jersey Jack review, so I really wanna go hard on it. There's 14 on location for the LE. We can look at the SE and the other ones, but most people haven't really gotten a time to spend on this game. Maybe some people have played it in collections.
There's 19 SEs.
Usually when you play in somebody's collection, you don't really get to spend enough time with it. There's 19 to SE. Like, these games don't exist in the wild. They just don't.
And 6
CE? Yes, that is abysmal. People are not getting to play the best pinball machine ever made. It's kind of heartbreaking. I really wish they'd rerun this. But I just want to put that context up and have people understand what's going on. And I do want to point out, this is my victory lap, and Kevin, please join me here.
Okay.
For a fucking full year. Okay? After we played this game and revealed it, we came on the podcast and told everybody that this game is amazing. Like, this is a must-buy game. All right? So we did our part. I feel bad for the people who came into pinball. Like, they weren't in pinball at that time, so it was never an option on the table for them. That sucks. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
all right.
Game is amazing. We told you it was amazing. Some people took our word for it and bought it, and they were super happy with it. Other people sat on the sidelines. So, and I understand, like $9,500, $8,500, that's still a lot of money, especially 6 years ago now. But yeah, this game totally worth it. Totally worth it.
So Mr. Noob Taxes said, I think code would be the reason it's never number one. I disagree. The code is amazing. It doesn't have a wizard mode. We'll get to that. But I don't think it's the reason. I think people don't have access. People tend to vote number one games for games that, number one, if you buy the game, it's in your collection, and there's a lot of people who own the game, they're going to vote it number one because they have it's the best game ever. Or if it's a game that's everywhere and they can play in location, they can do that as well, because there's people that don't own games that will vote games high. If people aren't playing this game and they don't have access to and can appreciate it, that's what's keeping it from number one. That's what's definitely keeping it from number one.
I agree.
All right.
Yeah.
People
need to get their hands on it. And, to code-wise, to that point, I think JJPs shine best when you have them at home and you can really dig into them. And you have the time and the ability to really appreciate the code. Although I will say JJP, the structure of this code is pretty straightforward. But even still, to learn the nuances, I think that's really when it shines.
Yeah, Kevin, you can roll with me. Keep us on track. But
Okay.
Because you brought up code, I want to get into that because there's this misconception about this game.
We'll move
And
that
again,
up
it's
front.
because people don't have access to it, and there's a difference between depth and something that's complicated, right? Or obtuse, right? So this game has depth, all right? It has a lot to that. I understand, like, why somebody might say, it is. But, like, at the end of the day, all you need to know about this game is that to start a mode, which they call chapters in the game, you shoot the shot in the back. What do you call that shot? It's the star map.
Yeah.
The star map. It says chapter select, it's lit up. If it's not lit up, you basically hit any shot in the game. Pretty much any shot in the game, almost any shot in the game, will light that up. That's all you've got to do. If you ever step up to it, that's all you've got to do. If you do that and you have a great game, you're going to get to probably one of the 5 mini wizard modes. You're not locked out from any of the mini wizard modes by just doing that very, very basic thing. There's games out there that if you don't do some like esoteric thing, you're not going to get to wizard mode. Not the case with this. This game is more straightforward than Rush. So anybody who has a Rush and understands Rush and thinks this game is complicated, it's not. I own both games, I can tell you. Okay? It's got depth, though. It definitely has depth to it. All right? Like, there's 22 different characters to choose from. So somebody's like, oh my God, there's 22 characters. That doesn't change the fundamentals of start chapter, play through the modes. Also, in this game, you're not locked out of things. Everything is available all the time, which is typical of a Keith Johnson game, right? I'm going to contrast that with Iron Man of all games. Okay? Iron Man doesn't have depth. But it is complicated in some ways. And I'll tell you why. In Iron Man, you've got to know order of operations. In Iron Man, if you start the Monger, you can't start Whiplash. Well, that's going. Now, if you start War Machine, and that's going, then you can start Whiplash. Okay? If no multiples are going on, you start Whiplash, then you can't start Monger. Right? There's a weird order of operations that you really gotta have somebody tell you. You've got to figure out and play a lot of times. These Jersey Jack games like this one and Godfather, they don't have an order of operations. You can start multi-balls at any time. You can start chapters and modes during multi-balls. Everything's just always happening. So maybe that's a little confusing, right? Because everything's always happening everywhere all at once, right? So it might seem like overload. But it's pretty straightforward. And all the chapters is that there's going to be a movie scene, and whatever characters are in that movie scene, those character shots will be lit up on the playfield, and you shoot them. That's it. That's it. Now there's more. Let's talk about the depth for a second. So we mentioned 22 different characters to choose from. All those characters, they have it will say like what they do, like multi-ball timer is longer. Multi-ball save is longer. 3 chapters are lit. So 3 modes are lit at the start. You don't have to qualify them. Very, very, very straightforward. Now, some characters, yes, in terms of depth, they do have an extra perk that's not noted on that screen. But you don't need to know that to get far into the game. That's not going to prevent you. Characters are definitely well balanced. So I know it can be overwhelming. I know people don't have access to this game, but the game is very intuitive and makes logical sense. Very much so. One thing I really want to talk about, I'm going to bounce around. I'm going to try not to miss anything. I did not do a good job in organizing my notes here, but speaking of the character selection, another criticism that I hear is theme integration. So I'm bouncing around, Kevin. Forgive me, but some people are like, oh, the theme isn't good because, I don't know, they don't have
doesn't
sound
show
clips from the movie.
Yeah.
No, it shows movie clips, but doesn't show the actors in those movie clips.
Exactly.
But the actors are all over the game. Their names are all over the game. You select the characters. They're all over the game, right? It's a stupid thing, in my opinion. But let me explain this for the level of theme integration that this team did, which is why it's a masterpiece. Remember, there's 22 characters. So in terms of giving these characters perks, it wasn't a mindless decision on what perks to give characters. I'll give you an example. Rigetti is that pirate who looks like me if I was on meth and had one eye. Okay? He's that guy. In the movie, he's missing an eye. His ability is when you're on the ship, if you hit the action button, you'll put another ball into play. You get a 2-ball multi-ball when you're on there by hitting the button. That's his perk.
Yep.
Eye, because he's missing an eye. 2 eyes. There you go. Elizabeth Swann. Okay, Elizabeth Swann, played by Keira Knightley, who is the biggest Mary Sue I've ever seen in a movie. It ruins it pretty much. But anyways, it won't get me going. She starts a game with 3 chapters. Chapters are modes, if you remember, always lit. Why is that? Because she's a strumpet and she's juggling multiple dudes in the movie. She's got Jack Sparrow, Norton or whatever his name is, and Will Turner. Weatherby Swan. He's a character you select. He is immune to being plundered. Why? Because he's the governor. And on and on and on. They did this for 22 characters. Is that theme integration? I'm going to say yes. More theme integration than any pinball machine I've ever played in my life. More thought has gone into that than anything. The other theme integration, we bounce around, this is rules. each movie chapter you play, you have to hit characters in that scene, which I mentioned. They had to go through all the scenes and figure out what characters are in that scene because those are the character shots that are lit up in the game. They didn't have to do that. They could have just made it like any old game. This arrow's lit, that arrow's lit, and that never changes. But that's in there. And by the way, do you know how many chapters or modes are possible in the game, Kevin?
A lot. I remember.
So there's 5 movies in this game. Okay, all 5 movies are represented, and each 5 movie has 5 chapters / modes. Okay, but each movie before the game starts will select between one of 20 to 26 chapters or modes. Okay, so think about that for a second. You're only going to play for the on Stranger Tides. That's a movie. On Stranger Tides, when you start a game, the game's going to randomly pick 5 modes from a potential 21 to 26 for that movie. So those scene clips are in there from that movie, and it's going to do that for all 5 movies. So one of the kind of bragging points is there's 3.4 sextillion possible combinations. You'll never play the same game twice. That may seem overwhelming, but if you listen to what I'm saying, you walk through this. You just start a mode. Multi-balls will happen by starting shots. It's just an impressive masterpiece of a game and theme integration and love that unfortunately the crime here is that most people the owners know, I know, Kevin knows, but I don't think it's represented. And that's why I want to really spend time talking about this game on the podcast and doing justice to it, to just let everybody know, not what you're missing, because I really hope that, I see a lot of cope, the game's slow, complicated, and there's no theme integration. No, you're wrong. I don't know if that's cope. I don't know if it's just because you not spend time with it. But I promise you that if they reran this game, so many people who have had cope about it will get their wallets out. And they should. They should. And Kevin's showing some gameplay of, he keeps on going back to when we were doing the reveal stream. The game is not slow at all, man. That thing is brutal with the disc. Even when they change the way the disc works, it's brutal. You've got to stay on your toes. Always something happening. I
think the single disc is more dangerous than the triple disc was.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not spending enough time. There's 5 mini wizard modes in the game. The biggest problem with this game is that it's missing the wizard mode at the end of the game. There is a rumor that they've not abandoned this game, so will we ever see it? I have no idea. I hope to God. I mean, it's an unfinished masterpiece. So, Kevin, I did a lot of talking because I really wanted to try to clear up some confusion or common criticism I hear of this game and why people say what they say. I think I did a pretty good job, but why don't you... where do you want to take this?
Yeah, I think you did a good job of covering a lot of the more there tends to be a dialogue that happens around every game. There's certain talking points that get hit, and for whatever reason, those are some of the ones for Pirates. So good job setting the table. You talked about rules, so I think you got a good handle on that. Let's move on. Let's talk about some of the other categories that we talk about when we do a pinball machine review. So let's talk about the art. The art, like you mentioned, it has all the characters. They have a realistic hand-drawn, hand-painted feel to them. So if you say, Christopher Franchi style art, I would say that's the kind of feel you get with the artwork on this. It's not my favorite, but I think it fits for a license like this where you have to get image likenesses of actors and get them approved and have it look realistic without necessarily just being pictures photoshopped and dropped onto a playfield. The playfield itself, it looks good. The use of art or use of color is good. It's not overly filled with art, so you can follow the ball. I think it does a good job through the style of the art, showing where the shots go and the different colors that correspond with the different inserts for the different movies and things like that. And overall you get the kind of this, it feels like you're playing a pirate game. There's the ship is it has a wooden plank surface that you play on, and it's got the other ship in the back left corner that looks good, and the treasure chest, and the cabinet art is kind of whatever. It's good, but it's not among my favorites. But I think they did a good job with it overall. I wouldn't say it's one of the best art packages in pinball, but it gets the job done, you might say.
Gets the job done.
Any other thoughts on the art?
No, I think you've covered it.
Okay. Sound. Wow. Can we talk about the sound?
Sound is amazing. I mean, I know you said Hobbit. Maybe it is, but to me, this is the best sound package. Like,
yeah,
or at least right up there. David Thiel absolutely crushed it. I love the fact that they got Gibbs from the movie as the voice actor to do call outs. He absolutely nails it. Like some of the best call outs in pinball, bar none. So I forgot how many music scores David Thiel composed for. I think each character has their own or mode, but there's a lot of music in this game for sure.
Yeah, David did a great job with the sound. They had it's a mix of I think it's mostly David Thiel songs in it, but they're all piratey and on point. The sound effects too are just really good. I think about the chapter start sound effects, and when you hit the loop and it's got the sing-songy sound that happens, and they're all just really good. Or when you start a multi-ball and it's got the pistols that fire off. David knows what he's doing. He obviously just nails it. Incredible sound package. I think Hobbit is still better in my book, but obviously this is up there with the best. Absolutely.
By the way, I missed a real point that I should like. The real shame is that we're gonna miss something about this game when we're talking about it. But one thing I missed, because I don't look at it or think about it, but the game literally has an LCD, on by the lockdown bar, which shows you at all points in time what the best shot to hit is. Like, you can play the game and you can just say, how do you play the game? Like, you see that compass down there? Just hit the shot that is showing you to hit. That's it. Like, this game couldn't be easier for somebody who doesn't know what's going on.
Right.
It's kind of insane. There's no other pinball machine that I know of that has anything like that.
Yeah, it's a really cool feature. And it's one of those things where, let's take it and make it super easy for folks. And it's thematically integrated, because in the movies, that's what, it's like your heart's desire or whatever in the compass is what the compass points to. So it's a compass. It points to the most valuable thing on the playfield. Again, another level of theme integration that just kind of sets this game apart. Okay, sound we talked about. Toys. Oh my goodness, the toys on this. Even minus the triple spinning disc and opening and closing chest, you've got one of the most amazing playfield toys / mini playfields. I don't know. Yep. I consider it more of a toy because it's like this massive mechanical masterpiece in the upper left-hand corner or upper right-hand corner of the game, which is the Black Pearl, the rocking ship. And what makes it more than just an upper playfield is that there's a cannon on the left-hand side of it that you can load and fire across the playfield to sink another physical ship on the playfield. It's one of the coolest physical things in a pinball machine, in my opinion.
100%. Man, that ship never gets old. It's super fun. Upper playfield, very, very cool. Again, theme integration of hitting the spinners represent the sails, hitting that, and then you can see the progress, and then loading the cannon, then finally firing the cannon. Again, great theme integration in terms of toys and what's actually on the playfield. We'll get into the display, but all that incorporates nicely into the display as well in terms of telling the user what's going on and representing that in kind of a nice artistic way.
Yeah, and even the chest is a super cool ball lock, even though it's not. Yeah. It doesn't have the opening and closing on the released version, and you can mod that. There's a mod you can get, and I have it on mine where you can make it open and close. But yeah, the ship itself puts us in top tier, and then even just the other physical features of this game, like the whirlpool ramp on the left that can divert. You can either come back around as a ramp shot or divert into the whirlpool, and the ship are just two other super cool features. And of course, it's got the release version has the single spinning disc, which still, again, it's it's integrated with the theme. It's the map. It adds some chaos and randomization to the game, which keeps it fun and interesting. I think that's one of the other things, like from a general standpoint, this game does a really good job of being a wide body that doesn't feel slow and floaty, right? It feels fast and snappy. The action it's got the 4 pop bumpers on the left-hand side, the spinning disc. The ramp shots are pretty close to the flipper, so if you miss, you're going to pay. The interesting in-lane, out-lane configuration keeps you making sure you have to nudge a lot. So you don't just kind of like hit a shot and take a nap and wait for the ball to come back. You have a good time.
And this game does the great balance that I was talking about with Godfather as opposed to Led Zeppelin or Rush, where you can, like, some games can be extremely short and brutal. Like the ball save is not on by default. That spinning disc is just absolutely, it can be absolutely brutal when it's on. The slingshots are powerful and snappy. Like there's a lot of ways that, and the shots are close. There's a lot of ways to die in this game that you really need to, get the multi-ball strung together, working towards a multi-ball so you can play safely through it and progress towards the end. So, I have games that are brutally short, I have games that are long, I have games that are medium, and that's what I love about a pinball machine and want to keep a pinball machine. I was playing Rush the other day, and it's like, man, I love that game, but every time I play it, it turns into like this hour game, and it's just almost unplayable for me at this point. Whereas this, it's like, I don't know what I get. If I'm playing great, I'm going to play for a long time, but that's no guarantee of that. I cannot be an autopilot. I've got to be on, and I've got to be focused at all times because that ball is truly wild in that game.
Completely. I nailed it. All right. You mentioned display. Let's talk about display and lighting. You want to take the lead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, JP to win. Just this is my favorite display of the Jersey Jack games. I think it's just very well done. One criticism is you can't see the actors in the movie clips. It's fine. I'm not here to watch a movie. The movie clips are short and brief. They set the stage for that, and you're playing through it. But I love kind of the always on display, as you can kind of see right now what Kevin's got on the screen. It's showing the chapters that are available, obviously the score, but represented on there in that map is the progress that you're making towards a multi-ball. Like, for example, I think it's Dead Man Tell No Tales, the purple one, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
As you hit that spinner, it's on the far right side. There's a ship, and you can see, and every time the spinner's going, the ship is moving towards like an island. It's so cool. It's such a nice representation of how close. It's not like the screen saying, "Oh, 50 more spins to multi-ball." Like, no. You could just see that I'm hitting it. The ship's getting closer. The ship's really quick. Probably one more rip, and I've got a multi-ball. It's such a beautiful artistic thing that's going on. Communicates all the information you need to know. I don't know, man. Again, what more can I say? The game is such a masterpiece, and it fires on all cylinders in every aspect. The lighting, while they don't have the hot rails, is that what they're called, Kev?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Jersey Jack wasn't doing it then. I can only imagine how it would look. Still brilliant lighting effects. Kevin, like the extra ball one, or like at the end of the game, like kind of like the water waves, how it flashes blue lower on, and then kind of like the night sky towards the top.
Yeah, so good.
How when you're in a certain mode, it's like that mode's color and all like the GI.
Yeah,
it's just like the game is something else. And as I'm going on and on, like I don't know if we're ever going to see a game like this again. Like just with the amount of toys in there, the amount of mechanical stuff in there, losing David Theo is definitely lost. I mean, I think Godfather, the sound's great, but like we might not ever see a pinball machine like this for either a long time or maybe never again. This was, I think, again, the tragedy of this game is that they really went all out with it. They threw everything in the kitchen sink. This was what Jersey Jack had kind of been moving up towards in many ways, right? They're really dialed in at this point, which is a funny expression to use in this situation. But they're really dialed in with Pirates, and just kind of the botched launch and the fact that this didn't sell for years and years and years where everybody bought one, I think hurts the idea of a company spending this much time and getting to this level of detail in a pinball machine. It's a real shame.
This is a bit of a side tangent, but do you feel like this game is what fueled all the FOMO in pinball that we had during COVID? And I think it continues to a point. You think this was the catalyst for that?
I'm sure it had some effect, right? Like it definitely has some effect. How much, to what extent, I don't know. Right? I really don't.
Yeah, because if people saw this game went up in crazy value and they didn't want to miss out in case there was some amazing game that came out, if they wouldn't want to have to spend like 20 grand on it if they didn't buy it at launch, right?
I hate how much this game is worth. I hate it more than somebody that doesn't own it, because I've got this. This game could go to $50,000 and I wouldn't want to sell it, right? It can go to 100 and I wouldn't want to sell it.
Right.
That sucks. That's a lot of money to have in a game. Just a pinball machine that was $9,500 at launch. That really sucks. If you want to keep this game forever, then it doesn't matter what the price is. And then the problem is too. Let's say it goes to let's say it goes $50,000 and I want to sell it. I'll never get it back. That's the thing. I'll never get this game back. If I sold Metallica, there's a million Metallicas out there. I can get it back. So many people will sell a game and then buy it back because there's plenty of them out there. It is very, very difficult with this game to do that.
Yep.
So that's another problem. And then we also get into like parts. Like I would love them to rerun it so there's more parts for the game. Now, my game's held up immaculately well, and so is Kevin. I mean, that's a testament to the build quality of Jersey Jack. Kevin, you've played the shit out of your game.
I have.
Because you streamed it a lot. Have you ever rebuilt the flippers by any chance?
Nope.
I bet that's a discrepancy between yours and mine. You've played yours more than I because you just streamed it a lot.
Yeah.
But remember you were saying like your flippers couldn't get up. I bet if you rebuilt the flippers or changed the coils and stuff. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. Mine have always been like that, though. My right ramp has always been hard on mine. I don't know, it's just something, pinball machines are different. But yeah, I'm sure a rebuild would help too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been holding up great. Let's talk about gameplay. The overall, like the shots, like the geometry of it. What do you think on that?
I mean, it's a great layout. It's got some unique things going on. I do like the spinning disc. We've seen spinning disc in games before, but it's integrated nicely with the theme. That spinning disc goes off when you hit the map targets, and you got to put it in the map hole, and it will give you a random combination of an award. I forgot how many. I have it in it somewhere of how many combinations. Anyways, not important right now.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But yeah, it's got some unique things. It's got like if it goes out the right out lane, there's a chance for it to go back into the shooter lane. I mean, games have done some similar things, but you don't see it too often. It's got an interesting design on the left side with the like the 3 drain thing. It's almost like a paragon kind of thing, where if it goes in the middle, it drains. If it goes in the far left, it's safe. If it goes to the one to the right of the middle, it's safe. Right. So that's something you don't see often in games anymore. It's got that nice, really loop shot. You hit it from like the right flipper through the chest. When the chest's not locking, it comes around to that upper left flipper, and then you can keep on looping it and looping it and looping it, which will start a multi-ball. Or you can also hit the gold targets, or you can hit the map targets, or you can hit the map hole. Right, like a lot of things to shoot for in this game. By far, and again, I've already mentioned the upper playfield, but a very fun upper playfield where it feels fun being up there. You're not up there forever. You've really got to be focused because the thing's moving, trying to hit the shots. You're lucky if you're up there for a few seconds half the time.
I'm just glad we get to watch Jay play a little bit here. It's really the highlight of the show so far. I love and I mentioned this before with the overall layout of a wide body. Sometimes they can feel kind of wide open, or there's not a lot on there, or the shots take forever to kind of come back around, and you don't get that impression at all from this game. It's not I wouldn't call it a flow monster of a game, but you can really get into ripping those ramps. And the loop shot is probably the most satisfying shot on it to me, just ripping it over and over with that upper flipper. It's like butter.
Yeah, and it's got the that cool shot when you're in the Tiadama shot, where you're in the at World's Edge multi-ball, the super jackpot. You obtain that by holding up the left flipper, and there's a hole in the playfield that you get the ball to fall down into. So, it's really amazing that this is Eric's first game. Right, like this, you think you would see this from a seasoned designer, and he crushed it. And as I'm watching the video that Kevin's playing, I saw that one thing that I forgot to mention. This game has a feature called Plunder, which makes this a very, very fun multiplayer game where, into the theme integration again, where one of the map awards will give you the chance to plunder an opponent's ball or score or their character, right? It makes it kind of like an interactive board game in the sense that what you're doing in the game can affect the other players. And that's fine. I mean, you could turn that off if you don't like it. I love it. You know, I used to turn it off in League and be like, oh, you shouldn't be able to plunder the other. Like, why? That's the game. That's the fun. That's the strategy, right? You can start hammering the map targets and then trying to get that award so you can plunder an opponent's ball. Suddenly you've got an extra ball and they've lost a ball. But I mean, the downside of trying to do that is that you're going to activate the spinning disc, which can make your play harder. Like, it's so cool. There's so much going on in this game.
Well,
but it's not complicated.
No, we didn't even talk about like Liar's Dice is in there.
Yes, that's right. It's got a little mini video mode game in there.
Yeah, and you can play it just like they do in the movie. They play Liar's Dice. You can play it and gamble away your gold or your I don't know, some of your treasures and things like that. Tilt warnings. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, there's just so much. I know we're gonna miss something, but I think we've done a good job. Let's talk about last ability. We've had this game since launch. You've said it's never leaving your collection. Last ability?
Yeah, it's a forever pin. Easy. It's my grail pin. It's the forever pin. It's something I'm super proud to own. Something I'm very fortunate to own. I tell Eric once a year, thank you for making this game. It is just something special.
Agreed. With you documented some of the stats on how varied the gameplay is rules wise, and I think that holds up. You know, it's not just a marketing point. It is a good marketing point, but it's also reality, and that you have so many different characters, so many different modes, all the different multi-balls you can play. You can try to stack all 6 multi-balls. If you want to just plow through the game, you can pick Norrington and, brick your way to the end of the game, but it still takes a lot of effort to get there, even with the characters that help you get there. So,
yeah. And look, we didn't talk about some things like, oh, there's a button on the game and what does that do? Again, you don't need to know that to progress through the game. You don't need to know that to, if you're playing a long ball and having a good game in that sense of just keeping the ball and playing and hitting shots, even if you don't know that, you're still going to beat people who have a shorter game and know that, right? Like it will give you an advantage, and as any pinball should, where you know the rules, but it's not such a lopsided thing where that's such a harm of not knowing it. But speaking of which, like that, there is that button there, and you can choose. You get choice in the game. So I mean, first of all, you get choice of the character when you start it, and then that action button will let you choose. Do I want a 2x to try to, and you complete that by hitting the pirate in lanes, out lanes, and spelling pirate, and then hitting the pirate shot next to the chest. But there's like hold bonus you can select as a thing. There's an add a ball during multi-ball. There's the Super X, which will be a playfield multiplier. There's a shot X. There's a hurry up. These are things that all people know anyways. I mean, they're not super complicated. There's gold in the game that I see new players, they don't understand gold. I'm going to tell you right now, everybody, here's how gold works. When you hit the gold targets or you complete character shots in the game or you get a random award, you'll probably hear Gibbs say, gold, aha. All right, he'll make a little noise. There'll be a go noise. There's a flasher by the left upper flipper that changes to gold in color. All you got to do is keep on hitting that action button until it turns off. Stop hitting it after it turns off. You're not doing anything. All right, there's also the LCD, which is hard to see. That's also indicating that's what's going on. I know the game is chaotic and you're trying to collect gold while the action's happening, which makes it fun. That's it. And then once you get 50 gold, you get to go to Tortuga Multiball. Oh, Jesus, there's Martha.
I had to switch back for that.
So, again, not a lot going on. Depth, not complicated. All right.
Yeah, it's one of those games where, like, surface level, it's pretty straightforward. You can get through the game. But over time, as you have it in your house and you dig deeper, you can get into all this other stuff, which is what makes it such a great game in the long term for your home, right? Like, that's what you want for a home game. You want something you can get into easily, a theme you like that kind of like sets the stage for an enjoyable experience. And then once you've had it and you've played it a bunch, there's still new things to discover and new things to do. One of the other things overall that I like about this game that we haven't talked about a lot is just the number of diverters and the way the ball paths, and ball paths has become a thing, I feel like, since Godfather, but that's the thing that keeps games interesting to me, is that you're not always getting the same return from the shot that you hit, right? The shot between the chest can either come around or you can get locked in the chest. If you shoot the shot to the left of the chest, it can either come all the way around through the pops or it can get grabbed by a magnet and fed up into the ship. The left ramp, it can go all the way around and return to a flipper, or it can go into the maelstrom ramp and come out a scoop. There's all sorts of good stuff. There's subways under there that keep the ball coming out in interesting places. So yeah, it's just this is like a lightning in a bottle kind of game that I think, Nick, you nailed it where you said we're not going to see a game like this again for a long time. I mean, I hope we do, but it seems unlikely because for a number of reasons why this game is as good as it is and why it is so unlikely to happen again anytime soon.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm gonna go play it today again because I love it so much.
I think the only downside to this game is there's no final wizard mode in it yet, right?
Okay, yeah. So this game, I'm gonna give my review right now. It's a 9.9, and we don't normally. Usually we do like a solid number or like
or a half
9.5. Yeah. It has no wizard mode. Okay, and that is to me, it's very, very disappointing. This game is a masterpiece, and not to put the final touch on it, do not put something that is absolutely should be in the game. It's not like this was a game created that had no intention of having a wizard mode, and that's what it is. No, it's missing something that's supposed to be in their game. It's not finished by the team. I don't know why this happens. I wish Jersey Jack would have a policy that they wouldn't do something or wouldn't allow this, or at least provide an explanation to us. It kills me that there's not. I mean, I actually stopped playing this game shortly after I got it because I was having a really good game one day, and I was like, I could see myself maybe getting to the end. I didn't want to spoil it. Maybe that's a weird way to think. And then I just, as the months went by and then years, I was like, oh my God, it's so weird. Now, people say, oh, it's a wizard mode nobody's ever going to see. It doesn't matter. That does not, it's supposed to have something. This game is not finished. Now, this game has more code, more features, more depth than any game I can think of that's ever been made. Okay, that's a profound statement. So even without the wizard mode, it has more than any game you can go out and buy on the market right now. But it's also true that it needs the wizard mode to be in there, to be a completed masterpiece. And I hope to God that we see it. I hope this builds more interest in Pirates. I hope it gives a level of appreciation for a game that some people haven't seen. Seek one out. I've got we got friends in League. I was like, anytime someone wants to come over, you want to play it, I'll show you how to play the game. You can spend some time on it. Right? Like, this game's amazing. We've done a tutorial on it years ago, really trying to explain it for people. And I get, like, it's rough because, like, I would never go out and buy a $20,000 game, $25,000 game. It absolutely sucks, especially a used game. I wouldn't do that. So I can see, like, being apathetic about it, but just don't kid yourself. This is something else, and let's all hope that it gets remedied, and we'll see this rerun.
I mean, if Nick's gonna give it a 9.9, I'm gonna do it too because I think we don't always agree on games, but this is one we definitely agree on. Incredible game, once in a generation kind of game. Somebody kind of drew a parallel between that and Twilight Zone of its time. I can see the comparison there. 9.9. Put that wizard mode in, and it's a 10 all day, every day.
All day. It deserves to be a 10. It needs that wizard mode. This game is 9.9 with an asterisk. Should be a 10.
All right. I think you've heard it here. What's going on? All right. I think that's going to do it for this episode of Brody Even Talk Pinball. I'm glad we could do another review. It's been a while. We got to pull some winners though. So let's jump over to our winners. Hashtag win if you aren't in yet and you're in the Twitch chat. We'll give you a minute to jump in. While we do that, I'll show you the screen. We're up to 43 entries, and I'll give a shout out. If you haven't yet, go to buffalopinball.com/merch to buy some Buffalo Pinball gear. If you're going to Texas Pinball Festival and you want to be looking good, grab yourself a Buffalo Pinball shirt. and wear it there. Represent us and the crew with pride. You can follow us on social media. We're on all of them. Well, most of them. We're not on Mastodon or anything weird like that, but all the major ones. Email if you got feedback, you want us to answer a question, something like that. talkpinball@gmail.com is the place to go. You can follow us on Twitch if you want to support the channel. A great way to do that is with a Twitch subscription. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime for free, which gives you a free sub every month. Although Amazon is making that harder and harder to find, it's still there, and you want to give a free sub. Twitch Prime is a good way to do that. You can also send us a little tip by PayPal, buffalopinball@gmail.com, or you can drop us a review on your podcast platform of choice. That helps folks find us in the future. So, all right, that's it. We're going to go ahead and draw an entry. The first one is going to be for the $50 gift card for Titan Pinball. Thank you to Titan Pinball. We're going to go ahead and draw an entrant. The winner is Kid Pinball. I've seen Kid Pinball in chat. Kid Pinball, if you agree, we will go ahead and mark that as yours. I'll announce it in chat. And the second one will be for the set of Pin Stadium Neo Atoms. We're going to go ahead and draw that here. Digital Jedi, we know him. Congratulations, Digital Jedi. Kid Pinball is in. Digital Jedi is in. So congratulations to both of you. Digital Jedi, I'll just text you. Kid Pinball, I will send you a whisper on Twitch. So watch your whispers. Those are the private messages on Twitch. And I'll send you a message. We'll get your information. And then we'll go from there. We'll make sure you get your $50 Titan gift card. So thank you, everybody, for another great episode of Birdie Even Talk Pinball. Sadly, there is no Topper Talk. Goran's in the middle of moving or something. Or he's probably just hanging out at Disney World and too busy riding the Tron coaster to join us and give us a Topper Talk. But hopefully next month we get another Topper Talk. Thanks, everybody. Scott Denisi in chat, thanks for the technical details on the JJP board set, so people don't think I was talking out of my ass. All right, Nick, what are your final words?
Treat yourself to some Buffalo Pinball merch. You deserve it.
All right, we'll see you next month. Bye, y'all.